Hey guys, look up here for a second. All right, last week when we talked about clipping mask, it was under object. No. Wait, was it under object? Yes. So let's do this. If I want to make a clipping mask, we talked about this last week, it's right here under object, correct? So what I'm going to talk about here is like when we're making shapes with our Pathfinder like this, and I go, okay, I want to take this shape and whatever I want to do with it with Pathfinder, let me find my Pathfinder. Here it is. So let's say I want to punch this out down here, and I do that, okay? So what we're basically dealing with here is one shape, correct? So what happens if I go, I want to have, so let's say we put this on top, and I go, I want to punch this shape out like that, okay? What happens if I go, I want to use, let's make it a different color so we can see it better. If I've got three shapes here, and then I go, okay, I want to make my pathfinder, I'm going to punch it out. That one actually worked, which it shouldn't have, to be honest. So what I want to do here, let's do it like this. Normally what we'd have to do is we'd pick all three of these things, and we just go up here to Object, and go to Compound Path, Make. And the computer now sees that as one shape, okay? They might have changed this, because before it would never do that. It would pick one shape. But let's look at this. So I have this shape, okay? So I'm going to make this little rectangle shape here. I'm going to pull, let's see if we can, if I can rotate it. I don't know if it'll work. Yeah, a little bit. So I'm going to pull these down a little bit. We're just doing this on Robert's illustration, which is what made me think of it. I'm going to tilt all these, and then these. So let's see if this will do this. Maybe they've changed this on here. I don't think they have. Actually, I'm going to take all these, I'm going to punch it out. Oh, they have changed it. Okay, so normally you had to do that as a compound path, okay? Because the computer would not see all of them as one shape. They've obviously changed it. But if I do this, then I can start building my, we were doing a palm tree, and I could take this, let's make this green. Where'd it go? That's good. I could build this, I could take this one, I could turn it this way, that's part of my palm tree. I can make this one longer, but then I can also take this little simple tool right here, this little thumbtack, and I can pop a pivot point there, there, and there, and then I could take this and like bend it. And so from this base shape, I can start making a lot of other shapes. Does that make sense? I'd also probably put another one of these in a darker value. So let's find a darker value. That's good. Oops. Let's put this in a darker value. I'm going to put this behind this one. And then I should be able to manipulate it a little bit. It might be at an angle. It might be a little tougher. I'm going to put it here. So I'm going to make it a little different shape. And what I could eventually do is I can put this behind it and start to make it look like one of those ones that's bent. Does that make sense? That's how I want you to think. So when you're making like a palm tree leaf, think of how you want to handle it graphically, and then try and build your shapes. I'm trying to get you to understand this is how you build things in Illustrator. It's a little different than just taking a pen and making an image or whatever. Okay, does that make sense? It's very much building, right? I think everything's building anyway, but this program is super about that. So normally, so if you have a problem where you're trying to do multiple shapes and do a Pathfinder thing and it doesn't work, turn it into a compound path. They've changed this because before it would not do that. It would take whatever the last shape you made was, and that's what it would use. So they've changed it, okay? They've made it where it automatically does a compound path, which I didn't know.